broke the windows, buckled the roof.
Evidence all over the front lawn. Shattered glass, plastic, the rearview mirror, all left behind.
Had they been just another foot the other way, it would have gone right into the living room.
That's exactly where Shirley McFadden was sitting around 9 Monday night when a car came barreling down Coventry Street and smashed into her 87-year-old mother's home.
I heard this huge impact. It was just like, I thought the second floor had let loose and everything was coming down.
Police say the driver, 44-year-old Francis Warner, was airlifted to Dartmouth Hitchcock. His 20-year-old son Joshua had a broken arm and was released from the hospital. His 49-year-old brother Frank had more than 40 stitches in his head but was also released. It took the jaws of life to get the family out.
Depending on the results that we get back from the rest of our investigation will determine what charges are filed.
Police say there was evidence of drugs and alcohol at the scene. So although McFadden was surprised,
I could see that there was a car with its headlights shining through the picture window.
This is actually the second time a car has smashed into this home, but McFadden hopes it's the last.
Got to be responsible for your actions.
In Newport, Jenny Day, ABC 22 News. Behind these walls, dressed in jailhouse stripes, a convicted killer sits adamantly proclaiming his innocence.
I did not kick him. I did not kick that man one time.
While 36-year-old Michael Rivers awaits sentencing, he's adapting to life behind bars, a place he could spend the next 25 years.
25 years is a death sentence to me.
Rivers stays in a single 6 by 8 foot cell. He can come and go as he pleases. The only time it's locked is between 7 and 11. He can read books, watch TV, and play ball, but never outside of these walls.
You don't get to feel the breeze on your face.
Rivers reached out to us because he was unhappy with his representation during the trial. He says his attorney, Greg Leduc, failed to call witnesses or present evidence that Rivers says would have changed his fate.
How many guilty people asked for a polygraph test?
If not guilty of manslaughter in the first degree, are you guilty of anything in this case?
I'm guilty of being there.
Rivers admits he witnessed the brutal beating of Robert Rennie. He says by the other two accused assailants, Paul Taylor and Scott Deno. But he says he's innocent of causing any blows that killed Rennie.
We started circling each other to fight, and we started, we were talking bad to each other, and Paul came out of nowhere and knocked him down and started kicking him.
Did you throw a punch?
No, I didn't get a chance to throw no punches at all, nothing.
Prosecutors argued in court that the victim's blood was found on Rivers' shoes and pants.
If you're getting kicked and you're on the ground, which way are you going to face? Somebody that's not kicking you, right? And if you get kicked, you're going to cough up blood and it's going to go on the person that's in front of you. That's how I got the stuff on me. I know that if my case is reviewed by a higher court, that the ruling would be reversed and I would be exonerated of all charges.
After the attack, the victim was able to get up and walk away before collapsing less than a mile from his home. Rivers says the day he learned Rennie died haunts him.
There ain't a day that goes by that I don't think about what happened to Mr. Rennie. I wake up cold sweats, screaming. It's very tragic. Nobody in their lifetime, no matter what kind of a person they are, deserves what Robert Rennie got that night.
For preschooler Olivia Del Piore and about half of her school district, Monday was a snow day. But the real reason behind the day off was because police say a man told them he wanted to harm children. There was no specific threat toward any school, just children in general, which is very unsettling.
And I guess the immediate reaction is it's just not worth going to school for the day.
Police say they know who made the threat. He was held in a mental health hospital for 25 days, but was evaluated and released Friday. They say because he technically hasn't committed a crime.
Yes, of course, there's a little bit of fear. I think more anger plays out just because you're like, how could that happen?
To be safe, all 10 schools in the district were on high alert. Police were on campus and a security guard double-checked the doors.
All we can do is assure them that we're doing everything we can to make sure that their kids are safe.
Because the entrance to the school is locked, in order to get in, you have to push this buzzer and explain why you're here. But staff say that this is the protocol every day.
We'll just let time play out and see what happens. Meanwhile, she's safer here, and I don't want to have to see her with a bunch of police officers around the school, too.
We know for sure police will be at the school Tuesday and maybe even through the end of the week. In Brattleboro, Jenny Day, ABC 22 News. The dog days of summer. Wednesday in Burlington, temps touch 90 again. Lake Champlain provided some relief.
We're just going to stay by the water all day.
We've been sitting
lake temperature is 75 degrees, which is actually 4 degrees warmer than the average.
It's perfect temperature today.
So the beaches were packed. I found one family dipping their toes in the fountain. Others were seeking shade.
We're actually visiting from Alberta, Canada, so this is pretty hot for us.
Then there are the overachievers trying to make us all look bad.
And I will do 1 vanilla creamy.
All right.
A summer signature, but experts say the ice-cold treat actually won't cool you down. It may provide instant gratification, but your body has to work harder to digest it.
I'll take the work for the melting sensation.
I found many people willing to take the risk. The stand at the waterfront sells about 1,000 cones a day.
Maple creamies will do the job for sure.
I ate it all.
So the memo must not be out. Hot food on a hot day will do the trick. The spices make you sweat. Sweating makes you cooler.
When you're finished eating it, you do. But while you're eating it,
Yeah,
no,
it's-
not so much.
Maybe it's not a coincidence that India is known for its curry.
Most of those cuisines actually come from a really hot part of the earth.
So even though it's too hot for some, we don't get a very long summer, so let's embrace it and eat up. In Burlington, Jenny Day, ABC 22 News. Rows and rows of gorgeous green grapevines wrap around the Otter Valley Winery in Brandon. But if you look closely, the impacts of the torrential rain have taken over.
This cluster is pretty much falling apart and it'll be rendered useless probably in another week.
Many grapes are diseased and the vines are rotting. Snow Farm in South Hero said the same. As for Shelburne Vineyard,
We were very worried.
but it's not a total loss yet, and owner Ken Albert is working hard to keep his crop.
If you spray before, there's a chance and some hope that the mildews won't take hold.
He's spraying a pesticide to ward off disease, and so far it's doing the trick. But it's too soon to tell if the wet weather will impact the flavor.
The impact of all of this standing water on the vines has yet to be seen, but sad news for wine lovers because we do know that this will impact the amount of wine that's able to be produced this season.
So far, so good. I mean, we may find in 3 weeks that some latent disease that didn't show up yet finally incubated. We'll see.
On average, Otter Valley makes 15,000 bottles a year. This year, they'll be lucky to make 5,000. Snow Farm may also make 10,000 fewer bottles this year, a major impact on business. But at each winery, the tasting rooms are still open and batches for more fruitful seasons are being served.